this is Miss Maya from Calvert Library. Thank you so much for tuning in to Storytime Snippets. For today's Flannel Friday, I am super excited to tell you one of my favorite traditional stories, The Little Red Hen. Once upon a time, on a nearby farm, there lived a little red hen. Her name is Gwen. Gwen the hen. Can you say hello, Gwen? Hello, Gwen! Bark, bark, bark. Now, Gwen the hen had 3 fluffy brown chicks that she loved very much. Her chicks were named Ben, Wren, and Sven. Now, Gwen the hen wanted to raise her chickies to be strong, independent chickens. So she decided that they would learn how to bake bread. Mama, that's a great idea, said her chicks, but we do not know how to bake bread. And Gwen the hen said, I know that, chickies, that's why we're going to teach you. And the chickie said, but Mama, that's a great idea. However, I don't think you know how to bake bread. Gwen the hen rolled her little chicken eyes and said, I know, chickies, that's why I'm going to learn with you. We're going to do this together. And they said, oh, that's a wonderful idea, Mama. Where do we start? And Gwen the hen said, at the library. So off they went to the library, where they checked out a huge stack of books about farming, about gardening, about growing wheat, about baking, and about making bread. They spent the next few weeks reading and taking notes and talking until they decided they were ready to start their project. Now, chickies, do you remember what the first step is? Asked Gwen. Yes, Mama. The first step is to plant the seeds. That's right. Now, this is a big farm. Who will help us plant all of these seeds? Cried Gwen the hen. From a shady spot on the porch, there came a big yawn. Not I, said the cat. There was a loud bark, and the dog lolloped by, chasing a butterfly. Not I, said the dog. From the pond, there was a big quack. Not I, said the duck. Quack, 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 quack. Well, said Gwen the hen, I guess we will have to plant the seeds ourselves. So Gwen the hen and her chicks went out to the field. They cleared the land, they pulled out all the weeds, they raked it so it was nice and soft, and they tilled the soil. They made long straight rows where they planted each and every seed to grow their wheat. It was a long process, and every day they went out, they pulled new weeds, they watered their seeds, and before they knew it, their seeds had sprouted. The wheat was starting to grow. They were small little seedlings just above the soil. They were bright green and so soft. So every day, Gwen and her chicks went out to the field where they pulled the weeds. They made sure no pests were eating their wheat, and they watered it so the plants could grow. Before long, their wheat matured. It was so tall. It was taller than them. It was a golden brown color. Did you see all those big, juicy grains? That's what they need to make their flour. They were very excited. But they needed to get those grains off of the stalks. Who, oh who on this great farm will help us? Cried Gwen the hen. Yes, said her chicks. We need someone to help us cut the wheat. Who will help us cut the wheat? From a sunny spot on the tractor came a big yawn. Not I, said the cat. There was a bark, and the dog ran past, chasing a bumblebee. Not I, said the dog. Woof, woof, woof. From the pond there was a quack. Not I, said the duck. Well, chickies, we will have to cut the wheat ourselves. Okay, Mama. So Gwen the hen and her chickies went out and they cut the wheat. They cut every stalk down. They laid it out to dry. Then they needed to separate the grains from the stalk. So they thrashed the wheat. They hit it with a big stick so all the little grains would fall off. Then they had to separate the grains from the chaff. And finally they had big, big bags that were heavy and full of nice, sweet, juicy grains. They were so proud of all of the grain that they had grown, but now they needed to turn it into flour. You can't make bread out of just these whole grains. So Gwen the hen said, there are so many animals on this farm. Surely someone will help us carry this grain down to the mill. Who will help us carry the grain to the mill? Who will help us carry the grain to the mill? From the apple orchard there came a big yawn. Not I, said the cat. there was a bark, and the dog ran by chasing a dragonfly. Not I, said the dog. From the pond, there was a big quack. Not I, said the duck. Quack, 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 quack. Well, said Gwen the hen, here we are again. We will have to do it ourselves. That's right, chickies. Off we go. So, Gwen and her chicks filled their wagon with these big, heavy bags of grain, and they took the grain down to the mill, where they used these big stones to crush the grain into a nice powder. Into flour. I'm sure if you've baked anything or watched some of your grown-ups bake, you've probably seen flour before. This is what we use to make cookies, make bread, make cake. It's the staple of most baked goods. Gwen and her chicks were so proud of this beautiful, fresh flour that they had ground. So they took it back to the farm and they showed all their friends. Now that they had flour, it is time to make bread at long last, said Gwen the hen. Hooray! Cried her chicks. Now, who on this big farm will help us make bread? Asked Gwen the hen. We wonder who will help us, echoed her chicks. From the windowsill, there came a big yawn. Not I, said the cat. From outside, there was a big bark, and the dog ran past, chasing a bird. Not I, said the dog. And from the pond, there was a big quack. Quack. Not I, said the duck. Quack, 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 quack. Oh well, Gwen and her chicks would just have to do it themselves. So, Gwen pulled down a big mixing bowl where she mixed the flour, she mixed some water, she mixed some salt and some yeast, and she mixed and she mixed, and she made little bowls for her chicks so they could mix and mix. And then they put it on the counter and they kneaded the dough, they rolled it and punched it. They put it in a bowl in a warm place to rise, and before long they had a beautiful loaf. It was just dough, it wasn't ready to eat, but they had to let it rise, they had to punch it down, let it rise again. Oh, they were getting excited. Now, there was one last step. Who is going to help me bake this bread? Asked Gwen the hen. Yes, Mama, who is going to help us? Well, what do you think? From upstairs there came a big yawn. Not I, said the cat. From outside there was a bark, bark, and the dog ran past chasing a rat. Not I, said the dog, bark, bark, bark. And from the pond there was a big splash. Quack, quack, quack. Not I, said the duck. Quack, 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 quack. Well, Mama, looks like we have to do it ourselves. That's right, chickies. Is the oven preheated to 350 degrees? It is, Mama. It's all ready to go. So, Gwen put on her mittens, her oven mitts, and carefully slid her nice loaf of dough into the oven. They set the timer for 45 minutes, and their house started smelling so good, so warm and yeasty. Oh, if you've ever smelled fresh baked bread, it's probably the most wonderful smell in the world. And upstairs, the cat was sleeping in the human's bed. And the cat woke up and said, something smells delicious. Let's go see what it is, and went downstairs. The dog was chasing the pig around the pig pen and stopped in his tracks. He said, "Ooh, I smell something good. Let me go see what it is," and ran inside. And even at the pond where the duck was splashing around in circles, stopped and said, I don't have a very good sense of smell, but something smells incredible. And the duck flew over to the house. However, Gwen the hen and her chickies were in the kitchen, anxiously watching the timer, waiting for their bread to be finished. Finally, the timer went off. Ding! Who will help me hold up my flannel board? That's the real question of this story. There we go. Ding went the timer. Mama, our bread is done! "It is indeed, chickies. Let's pull it out." So Gwen the hen put on her oven mitts and carefully opened the oven. She pulled out the loaf in a big puff of steam. Oh, it smelled so good. She put it on the counter on a cooling rack. "Now, chickies, we must let it cool down a little bit or we will burn our beaks." "Yes, Mama." So they just stood around smelling it. They were so proud of their bread. They had planted the seeds. Well, first, they researched, they learned how to do it. They planted the seeds, they watered, they weeded. They watched their seedlings grow into beautiful stalks of wheat. They cut the wheat, they thrashed the wheat, they took the wheat to the mill, they ground the wheat into flour, they mixed up the batter, they kneaded it, they let it rise, they kneaded it again, they formed a loaf, and they baked that loaf. That loaf was beautiful, so crusty brown, full of those delicious whole grains that they had grown. They were very excited. "Mama, Mama," asked her chicks, "who is going to eat this loaf?" asked the chickies. Mama said, "That is an excellent question." And then, as if on cue, "I will help you eat the bread," said the cat. "Oh, please, I will help you eat the loaf. It's the least I can do," asked the dog with his big puppy dog eyes. "Quack, quack, quack, quack. I will help you eat the loaf," said the duck. Gwen the hen looked at Ben, Wren, and Sven. She said, "Who do you think should eat this loaf, chickies?" And the chickies said, "We all should." So they broke the bread, they spread it around, and Gwen the hen asked, "Isn't this good bread, cat, dog, and duck?" And they said, "It is." She said, "Will you help me next time?" They said, "If it's going to be as delicious as this, we will. We want to learn from you, Gwen the hen, and your chickies too." So they decided the next season they would all learn how to make bread together. The end. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Keep an eye on all of Calvert Library's social media pages and website for more stories, songs, rhymes, and more. Have a great weekend. See you next time.